Takiwātanga in his, her, their own time and space.
Being cool. The kids that are in his class that have autism, super cool.
Autism's about a different perspective on life.
And once you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person.
There is nothing wrong with having autism, you know. The hardest thing with autism and intellectual disability and that is sometimes accepting it.
They bring change, they are non-judgmental.
Being different ways to thinking.
I'm autistic. If you don't look autistic, it is a very ableist statement.
Autism is a label. Forget the label and just live as normal life as possible. Autism is about hope.
Takiwātanga. Love Not Cure, exploring autism one strength at a time.
And it seems pretty small, but a lot of the conversations I've had, I've thrown out a term that my son used to use all the time, and it seems to be quite common. Definitely not a diagnosis tool, but things like my legs don't work. You know, I want to do it, but my legs don't work, and literally the legs won't work. You know, they'll say, you know, I can't walk, and they won't be able to. And it's avoidant. All these terms feel wrong and they feel judgy, but I don't know how else to articulate it.
It's not like they're making excuses.
No, they're not making excuses. They literally can't do it, but they will use some very advanced sort of social
reasoning.
Yeah. So there's quite often the very, very articulate, very smart kids. You know, my son, you know, he will make eye contact. We know that's not a universal aspect of autism, but
you can't. Now you can't tell because someone could probably be looking at you, but inside their head they're kind of burning. They want to look away, but no, I need to be what you call that? Be polite.
Yeah. But no, he will, like my son, and you know, you met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person, but he will engage socially. It takes a lot out of him. It really does, but he loves it. He seeks it, particularly online, rather than, you know, with people in a space. But so that throwaway comment that I made to a few people about who are wondering, you know, maybe my child has PDA, and I said, well, have they ever sort of said, you know, my legs don't work, or I can't do that, I'm a dog, or I'm a whatever? Because very strong imaginative aspect to their characters. And I have yet to meet somebody who said, no, my kid's never done that. You know, it's, so...
Everyone you meet, they are kind of the same?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, they are all different, but there are some common...
Similarities.
There's some similarities, yeah.
How do you distinguish that it is an autistic kind of behavior versus a PDA or maybe now ADHD? The reason why I'm asking is I saw an article somewhere, I forgot, I should have bookmarked them. Some of the traits in ADHD are somewhat similar with autism. Yeah. Kind of, there's a lot of overlapping there. So for you, given that in your circumstance, how do you kind of identify that this is a PDA trait, this is a autism trait, or ADHD perhaps? I
don't worry about it. For me, the diagnosis was helpful because it gave a place to start understanding, and it gave access to some resources. But whether, you know, the PDA comes along with the autism, you know, it's a profile of autism. There is some debate about that, but generally the consensus is that it's, you know, to have PDA, you are also autistic. It's a you know, type. And the ADHD and the sensory processing stuff, it's all part and parcel of who he is. And so I've never really looked to try and identify
which is which.
Do I get...
I mean, do you get a chance to go out with your son?
Sometimes. We went to a bushwalk and to the park the other week, which was awesome. It was really, really fun. Spent a lot of time spinning around on one of the big sort of contraptions at the park. It was an interesting dynamic when it came time to leave, because the demand to leave was a challenge. So we were there one night for 5 hours until it was dark, and his mother and sister came along and, you know, helped persuade him to go home. So it is always a challenge. It's a challenge to get him out. It's a challenge to get him home. You know, change is not his friend, but also He's, as I said, he's a sensory seeker, so being able to swing and spin, and I've got chin-up bars throughout the house. I've got sensory swings in a couple of places, trampoline. I want to set up more stuff, but I have a slight theory that there's a bit of price gouging when it comes to sensory supports.
That's my theory too. Like they're expensive, and you'll find something similar from like the what you call that,
the noise cancelling.
Noise cancelling.
Yeah.
Find something similar that the tradies are using.
Yeah.
That's similar, but
it's $100 as opposed to $200 odd. So I've seen some there's some amazing stuff, and I've always wanted to set up a sensory library. I was looking a little off topic for this, but never mind. Partly because you don't know whether it's going to work, right? No. You spend $300 on a sensory toy, it's not a toy. Sensory support. Some of them are cool toys, but they're not a toy. They're a tool. Weighted blankets, for example, ridiculous. I don't know whether it will work because sometimes, weight is good and sometimes it's not, and I just don't know. And $300 is a lot of money, so haven't got one. Noise cancelling headphones again. It's a lot of money. So I would love to be able to have a library where you can, pay a deposit and borrow some stuff and try it and then, return it. And even if it costs you $15 or $20, it's, that'd be awesome to set up. But, we're all parents and we're all time poor.
Right. And also I remember when one of my friends, actually my boss, lent me a sensory blanket.
Oh, yep.
Just to test it out because she knows it costs a lot of money. Yep. So we tried it. It didn't work. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And you can always on-sell things, but
you won't be able to sell it the same way that you bought it. Right?
Exactly.
They will say like, you've used it. No, it's just once. You still use it. So half the price.
Yeah. And so I think the opportunity to try some of those sensory tools and supports it's not as good as it should be.
You don't have something like that here?
I've not found something like that.
Anywhere in New Zealand?
Yeah, I've not found it. Look, it might exist. If anyone does know if it exists,
please.
Yeah. let us know. We'll definitely support it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. By and large, the best thing, the most of the support actually came from the kids. The kids were amazing. Like just a whole generation of kids with unbelievable level of empathy and awareness. I went and talked to the kids because I was trying to get my son to use noise cancelling headphones to see if that helped. And obviously he didn't want to be the odd kid out. So the teacher talked to the kids, and the kids, I took in a dozen pairs of, the cheap Mitre 10 headphone, just the red ones used for mowing the lawns. Took those in and said, look, if any kids want them, that's fine. And the teacher talked to the kids and said, this is the situation. They're here if anyone wants them. And I'll never forget, one of the kids said, look, I don't like wearing headphones, but if it helps him feel okay, I'll do it. So I was blown away. I mean, these kids they were about 7, and just amazing levels of empathy. And I think if we could harness that in some way right across our education system and beyond the education system, we'd have a wonderful, wonderful place. It'd be amazing.
Right. That's so much. Sorry, I'm just conscious about the time.
That's good.
Misconception of PDA. Have you heard any misconception? He's just a lazy boy.
Lots of people don't believe in it.
Is it because we don't have like a formal...
Yeah, it's partly that. It's partly a confusion with opposition defiant disorder. I don't entirely understand the difference. There's some schools of thought that they're very different. There's schools of thought that they're closely aligned. There's different definitions. ODD's recognised, PDA's not. So there's all that sort of stuff going on. I think the biggest thing is it's just not known about. Autism there's a lot of awareness, obviously, which is great. There is a lot of stereo around, what autism looks like.
Yeah, they're like, you don't look autistic. What?
Yeah.
Do we have a model?
Yeah,
Right?
there's that meme, can you just do an autism for me? So there's all of that, and a lot of kids with PDA are very articulate. My son can dish out sarcasm and stuff really, really well. He's got an exceptional vocabulary. He's taught himself to read and maths, and a lot of them are really bright kids, but that doesn't mean they're not facing significant challenges. And because they seem articulate and not autistic, if you will, which is frustrating, right? Because if a kid is being naughty, there's a reason. Kids are generally good if they can be. If a kid's acting out, if you will, to use that term, something's going on with them. They're expressing an emotion somehow. Yeah, it'd be nice if we focus more on how kids are behaving and what's causing it, rather than you are autistic or you're not autistic, or you've got PDA or you've not got PDA. Your jaw, your hands, your shoulders, and when you take 10 seconds to just stop and think about how you're holding your body, you very quickly realise that actually I've been tense for hours and I haven't thought. So just surviving through, just grabbing any moment I can to try and regroup and find something that's positive, really.
So how is the group? Is it New Zealand only group?
No, it's global.
Global.
Yep. There's about 380 odd members, so it's still very small, and it's a chance, and I hope, I haven't asked, but I hope there's some guys in there that have sort of found somebody in the group that they can talk to. You don't have to talk to the whole group. You can message things, you can post anonymously, you can do all that sort of stuff. It's I've never seen a situation in the group in the last sort of 18 months where there was any real disagreement. Everybody wraps around. It's been really cool. It's been an amazing thing to be a part of.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just talking to you like this one, like venting out. We were talking about venting out a while ago. Like, just even if you're not going to, because your challenge is different from my challenge, just kind of thing. You're not solving my problem. I cannot solve your problem. I don't know how to handle that. But even just by talking to one another and venting out, probably you have an idea on how to solve it. If not, that's okay as well, because you...
Yeah, absolutely. And, people will share a resource. They'll say, hey, someone showed me this. Might work for you, it might not. And you read it and you go, actually, there's a couple of good bits in that I might try. Or someone will say, hey, look, I used this phrase with my kid and it worked really well. The one I heard the other night when I was in a Zoom call with some PDA parents was the use of Alexa. They tried to get their kid to...
Is that the AI?
Yeah. I think it's the Android or Microsoft version of Siri. And so they tried to get their child to put down the tablet and stuff and get ready for bed at whatever time. And it wasn't particularly successful, so they set an alarm through Alexa, and Alexa, pipes up and goes, "It's bedtime now," and the kid's like, "Oh, okay, Alexa said it's bedtime." It's not this person who is
demanding.
Yeah, demanding or trying to perceive. It's just, it's my my AI friend who's reminded me.
It's not a human being.
Yeah, so there's lots of tips and tricks like that, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But
I'll write it down. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's just a chance to share stuff and just have a community of people that get it.
Without naming names, what's the most challenging situation that you've seen so far in the group?
Well, it is a PDA group. It's for dads of kids with
PDA.
I think the biggest challenge I've seen is in situations where parents don't have the flexibility to homeschool, and their kid still needs to go to school, but they're not coping, and the parents acknowledge they're not coping, but there's no... They're kind of trapped into this. That's the hardest situation I think I've seen.
And you can see the eyes of the kid. What do you usually do in times like that, like the ice cream or even the car, like 3 hours sitting in the car?
Sit and wait. Look, the number of times where plans have had to change, or we've just had to not do something. When it first started, I used to get really, really frustrated and really, really angry, because it's like, come on, man, just get out of the car. Let's go do something. He has a very high level of emotional awareness and empathy, and responds strongly to my emotion. And I've had to learn to just stay calm, and it's hard. Yeah, so if we're in a situation like that and it's like, come on, let's get out of the car, sometimes you just have to wait. Distraction can help in terms of, just talking about something else, trying to change a subject, trying to start talking about something he might be interested in can help. With my lad, he's a sensory seeker. So, opportunities to go on the tramp, let's go jump on the tramp, or we used to give him straight lemon juice, which he still sort of likes, and that seems, we found out quite early on that it sort of gives a sensory input that supports him. So, really strong flavours like that. And on a Cape, it's hard to tell the percentages, but sometimes, if you can change the subject, and if you can start talking about something quite random and get his interest, then he might be okay to go and do that thing. But sometimes you've just got to sit and wait.
Right.
Yeah.
Just beside your house or
yeah.
Working?
Yep. In a car park. Yep. Wherever you happen to be.
So usually if you have plans for the day, like I'm just making up things. So let's say you'll have a dinner tonight outside, just in assumption that he's okay with that.
Yep.
So basically once that PDA got triggered, you'll wait and your booking is gone.
Yeah.
Something like that will
Yeah.
happen, right?
Yeah. You can try. You can try the strategies. You can try. The sensory stuff that sometimes helps. You can, on occasion, bribes will work, as they do with any kid. A lot of information I find is really useful in terms of we're doing this dinner because here are some things, you're in charge. I find that's one of the best things in terms of supporting him in any situation. We went to the dentist a while back, and it's like, right, you're in charge. If you tap out, we leave. And he got through the whole dentist appointment because he knew that at any point in time he had the autonomy to say enough's enough. So it was all on his terms.
It's like he's in control of the decision.
Yep. I have two rules in my house. One is, you don't hit the dogs, basically. And the other one is you don't threaten people online in terms of your friends and stuff. And that's kind of it. The rest of the time it is a dialogue about things rather than a hard rule. Dialogue around doing teeth, because when you're lying next to me or when I'm hanging out with you and your breath doesn't smell too good, I don't really enjoy that. So it would be nice, if you could do your teeth so that I don't have to put up with that. And it becomes a choice for him. And it becomes a thing where he understands that it's something that I don't really like, and I'm not making him do his teeth, but,
kind of what are the end result, like outcome?
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the interaction is equivalent to what you would have if you were talking to another adult. And it is a different way of being a dad to what
the conventional dads.
The conventional, being a dad. And it takes a lot of getting used to. And in the dad groups in particular, there's been a lot of feedback around it's really nice to be in a place where other dads just accept that this is, you can't just go, put your foot down, so to speak, because it just doesn't work.
Are all the dads in the group, the PDA group, which I just also joined, are they all have kids with PDA?
Yes. Yep. Right. A couple of the dads also have PDA, which makes their world quite interesting.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, yeah. because there's lots of, I mean, as an adult, right, there's lots of demands. There's demands everywhere, you know, paying bills, doing everything like that.
Or if you have a boss.
Yeah, absolutely. The need to, you know, prepare food for your kid because you're a parent and you've got to actually look after your kid. So all those things are demands that these dads are trying to support their kids to work through, but also need to work through themselves. And, you know, they're amazing for being able to do that. But yeah, there's some really, it's just really nice to have a place where guys can just kind of go, man, I'm struggling.
You just, what do you call that? Vent out.
Vent, yeah, and you know, there's just everyone wraps around them. You know, we're all living the same journey, slightly different, you know, different parts and different stages and whatnot, but we're all finding the, you know, similar challenges.
Yeah, I spoke to one parent before. I was explaining, like, we're in the same boat. Someone might just be cleaning the floor to make sure everyone is not going to sleep on the floor. Someone could probably navigating the wheel. Someone probably fixing the set. But at the end of the day, we're all here on the same boat. And kind of like it's easier to relate and easier to understand. And if someone says, my child is this and that, I know that because my experience is kind of the same. But yeah. And sometimes it's interesting to hear strategies that from other parents wherein when you apply it, it works.
Yeah,